little chute. Don't want to get too close, right? Morning. Well, after yesterday's activities, I sure as hell wasn't getting up at 6:40 in the morning. I'll tell you that much. It's like 20 after 9. It's raining. It was already raining once. I heard like, I don't know, 8 o'clock or something. So it's gonna be another showery day, you know, just scattered showers. So I think I'm gonna wait until the rain stops. Eventually, if it doesn't stop, I'll just have to do what I can, make a break for it. But wait till it stops, and then the moment it does, pack up the tent, pack up everything in the bag. Hopefully I'll get that done as quickly as possible, and then by the time the next shower hits, at least maybe I'll have all the rain gear on and I can be having breakfast. You know, what else can you do? Sometimes you just got to do things in the rain. I'll spend half hour. I just can't lie here all day long, right? I mean, for one thing, I really have to pee. It's still raining. You know, it rained a lot yesterday, and which means I have already some casualties of war from the rain. You know, there's some things that are already wet. But the primary thing I had to think about is I need dry clothes to sleep in tonight. So I'm gonna put back on some things that are already kind of wet to make sure that the clothes I've slept in, or I can get it into a dry sack and keep it dry, because that's pretty important. Is I gotta be dry tonight in my sleeping bag and snug as a bug in a rug so I can sleep properly. That's also a survival thing too, right? So that's my primary thing today. I'm gonna get out of this shirt. I'm gonna put on this shirt that's a little sweaty and damp from yesterday, and this is gonna be a bit of a painful process, but start the process of getting up and getting packed up in the rain. I mean, I can't just sit here all day. I got 14 kilometers to hike, right? Gotta look at the bright side of things, right? It's not raining that hard. My tent, Volt 2, nice and new. I bought it this winter. It kept me dry. It stood up just fine. It is day 2. I mean, everything's already pretty beat up from yesterday, right? This is something kind of interesting. So by looking at the different books I have, one of them is about 20 years old. And in it, the pass is called Whitehorse Pass. So this little sticker on here is because they changed it to Fiddle Pass. Fiddle Pass used to be way down there, and it is now called Utopia Pass. So they changed some names. And I kept getting this campsite mixed up with Fiddle Campsite. So that Fiddle Campsite I ran into yesterday actually is on the Whitehorse wetlands or wilderness maps, except I kept thinking it was Whitehorse. So there's Fiddle all the way up there, which actually is on maps, which is just before you cross Fiddle Pass coming, you know, on the Whitehorse side. And then on this side, you have Whitehorse. This one's a little farther away, 4 kilometers. That one's probably about 2.5. Really is quite a nice little stretch of this river.
I have to cross this thing 3 times today. Kind of wondering if I should even bother with my Crocs. My shoes, I mean, it sucks getting them full of water completely, right? Even if they're already wet, it sucks getting them full again. But huzzah! It stopped raining. I just made breakfast. I can leave it cool in this thing for quite a while. That thing keeps things hot. Take my dry sack, run over to my tent, and get her packed up as quick as I can, because anything yesterday taught me is that another one's on its way. Now, if you're wondering what there is here, it's a green throne and a trail that keeps going, which probably goes to the site of an old green throne, a different hole. I don't even feel like going, but you know, it's just the brainless thing to do. You gotta go. You gotta make yourself try and go. Because who wants to go out in the middle of nowhere? And you know, that's not good for the trail anyway, right? No one wants to see that. Well, on a morning where I moved like molasses because of a long day yesterday and it was raining, it went okay. It's like 20 to 12. Right, I slept in a long time, but I got everything done. I got my water. Everything is taken care of. I feel like I've covered my bases. My first crossing is about 100 meters down here, apparently. So I'm gonna leave my Crocs on. I have my boots tied together, you know, and then that will go around my neck when I cross. So I'm just gonna carry my boots, carry my poles, and let's see what this first crossing looks like. Okay, so the crossing is over there, but I saw this over here and, well, gotta come check it out, right? Got a pretty cool little chute. Don't want to get too close, right? Yeah, I can see a little path up there, so if you're staying at Whitehorse Campground, this is a great little something to do hike, right? You just kind of come in here and you hike down here for a ways. Awesome. This is actually, I had no idea, there's actually 2 sides to this right now. So this is coming down here and it meets up with that guy, so yeah. This is a super cool little hike to take from Whitehorse Campground. Yeah, I was just standing over there before. Not bad, man. Hey, I'm just starting my hike, and you know, I got stuff to do, but you gotta enjoy these things, right? Cool. So up there's the campground. I mean, it's more like 50 meters, right? It's really close. There's the trail. Here's the crossing. I'm not really afraid of this at all. That's good, because this is the first crossing and the next 2 are farther downstream, more water, later in the day. Crossings are always higher. So it's good that this is not presenting any issue, because then I'd be pretty worried about those ones. All right, let's do this. No problem. So the Crocs. I originally bought like dogs or whatever, imitation Crocs from Value Village for $5 for backpacking. And they work fine, but I didn't trust them on crossings. They didn't fit very well, they didn't have much grip. So I just went and spent the cash, $40 on these guys, and they fit a lot better and they have some grip. And now I feel like I can cross with them instead of just using my boots, so it's worth it. It's 0.7 kilometers to the next crossing, and that's not very far, but it's far enough for me to want to throw my boots on, so I'm going to do that. For the record, this is June 5th, and that crossing was just above my ankle. I'm on this side of the trail. Another little opportunity to see this chute. That's where I was standing before. That's pretty cool. And the views get a little bit slim once you leave the basin below Fiddle Pass, but every so often something does pop up. I'm already here at my next crossing. Don Beers, I love your book, buddy, but 0.7, that's doubtful. And I just looked at both books, and there is some confusion going on because in the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide, that Whitehorse Campground is called Fiddle Campground. Fiddle Campground was the one on the other side of the pass in the Whitehorse Wilderness area. You know, it was signed that way. So, no wonder I got confused. I mean, in one book, that's Fiddle Campground. When you get there, the sign says Whitehorse Campground. And in Don Beer's book, too, that's Whitehorse Campground. Whatever. The sign up there says Whitehorse Campground, so as far as I'm concerned, that's Whitehorse Campground. But in the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide, it's called Fiddle Campground. It's not real fun having these boots around your neck. They kind of pull on you, and you know, I guess I could get it behind the hood. That'd probably help a little. But these things are kind of flopping around on you and stuff, so. But that's part of it. That's just part of it. Okay, so once again, it is June 5th, and that was just above my ankle, maybe a tiny bit higher. The rising water has been a problem in the backcountry now for a bit. You know, the climate is warming, and the excess snow up top is melting faster and faster and faster, and you get these rising crossings. So, I mean, every year they're higher, apparently, according to Jasper National Park staff. But those two crossings were both described in the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide as easy, and they are. So, good to know. It's 2019. Oh, and you ever wonder if you're actually at the crossing, there is a marker. Alpine passes are awesome, and seeing mountains are awesome. But hiking along a cool river, you know, where you actually can go see the river, is a whole different kind of fun, man. Really neat stuff. Well, unfortunately, the trail does wander away from the river. I know it's heading back there. I just wanted to say on the, so far, I mean, I've hiked about, 5 kilometers into Jasper National Park from Fiddle Pass. And so far, the trails aren't torn up at all. They're nice, all right? And I think the horses do come down this as well. I don't think there's a separate horse trail at this point. So it's nice to see. On the Whitehorse Wilderness side, I mean, the whole thing was torn up. You know, you saw all the mud and all the difficulty I had, so. I mean, my pants and everything are just wiped out with mud. But, you know, over here it's pretty good. Every so often I will just get that hiker joy. You know, it just like sinks in, and it's just, yeah. And you know when it is? I'm noticing this. It's when there's nothing happening in the middle of the woods. It's when there's no alpine pass and no waterfall and no bridge and no river, no lake. Just in the middle of the woods. It's quiet, it's beautiful. I haven't seen anyone except for those 5 people for 48 hours at least. I love it. I just love it. It just sinks right into me, and I love it so much. Well, I'm coming down some old crevice all of a sudden. This is out of left field. Got some nice view of these mountains. You can see the trail going up over there. Kind of looks like there's a cave down there. There is a bit of a cave up there, but it would be a lot of jumping over scree and stuff to get up there. I'm not super big on caves, so I'm not going to worry about it. What a gorgeous spot, though. I am taking a break here. You can't get better than this. Just climbed out of that guy. And for the first time, I'm starting to notice the red trees. Oh, wow. Jeez, this is what you do. If I hadn't started doing this video, I might not have even seen this. Not bad. Jasper National Park has a big problem with the pine beetle. It's basically, I've actually joked in the past that it should be called Pine Beetle National Park now. And here we go, we're started with it. Right, red. How do you know it's pine beetle? See if I can get one in shot properly. I don't know if you can spot any right there. How about that one? There's a good one. The little holes in the trees, and a tree that's been pretty much infested. Like this one's not quite dead yet. It's still green up top, but it's on its way. That guy is also kind of green at the top. These guys are just starting to die away. But I mean, you will see these little holes all over the tree. And that's where the pine beetle did its thing. Oh, there's one. And then jumped out of there, right? Very sad. Ah, well, it's gonna make trails a lot harder in the future too, because a lot of these trees are gonna fall right across the trail. This is something that's kind of funny in nature. This forest looks fine. There's absolutely no evidence of, I don't know, a forest fire. And then you'll just find a random tree that's been struck by lightning or something, or left over from some old fire. Still there, still hanging out, still, yeah. Who knows, maybe I'll find like 20 more trees. Maybe there was an old fire that came through here, but right now, these trees are all, you know, they're all pretty mature, so. Well, I was in the forest for a while. Broke down, now this is another crossing. Yeah, that's nice. So this crossing is for horses, right? You go over there, and eventually you will cross the river again and go back to the other side. But for hikers, there is a trail. You know, you can see one beaten through there, and you can just follow along here and save yourself 2 crossings. Now I assume that part over there will have to rock hop, and that would be why it's not safe for horses down there. I'm not moving real fast. I have rattled off some kilometers, but I've taken time to do it. But you know, it's I can afford a bit of a leisurely pace. The nice thing about this time of year is there's so much daylight in the day. It's awesome. So, and I'm gonna try not to jinx myself, but it hasn't rained since I left camp. Oh, so nice. So I'm at the lake, you would call this scree. Not only do you get to hike along the river this part, but look at this. River and a view. This is pretty sick. Yeah. Wonder if there's a trail heading down that one. There you go. Pretty cool rock wall over there. That was maybe 200 meters. There's the scree pile over there. and more open views. Still hiking along the river. I love it. Trails that follow rivers, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. The North Boundary Trail, a large chunk of it follows Snake Indian River, but it's an old fire road, and it does not follow the river that much. You do not see the river that much. You see Snake Indian Falls and some amazing stuff like that, but yeah, it seemed like almost most of it was just in the deep forest. So whenever you're actually down by the river, be grateful, man. It's pretty awesome. So the river walk lasted about 15-20 minutes. You know, eventually rivers end up with banks along them and that sort of thing, so it makes sense to send the trail away, make it easier. So like I said, be grateful for any river walking you get. It's pretty good stuff. This is nice and flat and perfect, so I'm getting spoiled a little bit with this. The country opens up and you get some nice shots. Looks like weather's probably coming in on me again. Just getting used to it. I'm just happy if I have sun for a while. That is really awesome. Sweet. So, I've arrived at the turnoff for the Slide Creek Equestrian Horse Camp, whatever you want to call it. Kind of figured as much, because usually you don't find big rocks with other rocks on top of them, right? People usually do that. In order to get over there, you have to cross this guy, which I'm probably going to go do. I mean, I like checking out stuff, right? I like seeing campgrounds. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on my Crocs. Hell, maybe I'll leave my boots on this side. Throw on my Crocs, I'll head over there, I'll check everything out, I'll come back across, and I'll throw the boots back on. And I'll sit and have a nice little break, because it's a horse camp, so there's probably a nice place to sit. The only thing about leaving my boots over here is porcupines love salty boots. And if, whatever the chances, I'm sure they're very, very small, but if I came back and found one of my boots gone, I'd be devastated. I'd be so pissed. So I'm hanging them up in a tree away from porcupines, and let's go across this thing. There's also some wicked waterfall up here. Like, look at that. So if it's easy to get to, maybe I'll go walk up to that thing. Well, yesterday was a lot of side trailing, and I don't feel like doing a lot of it today. My body is tired. And I think it wouldn't be that hard to get up to that waterfall. Right, a little bushwhacking. But yeah, be a pretty cool little day hike. Well, not a day hike, just a little trip out from the Forest Campground. The problem is I can't find it yet. So I crossed over there. Can't see anything obvious. There's no markers or, you know, no pile of rocks. I mean, is it in those bushes? Is it in those somewhere over there? I don't know. So as I was making that video, this actually caught my eye. So this is these bushes here. And just got to cross a few things. I would show you this more often, but I'm afraid of dropping my phone, crossing some big whatever, and then it'd be long gone. Well, I'm happy to see this. I was starting to think that I'm gonna have to walk like half a kilometer in here or something. See, there's a green throne down there. So I ended up walking, I don't know, 7,500 meters onto that trail. There's probably another way out over there, and it goes and rejoins the main track. But I left my boots over there thinking I was super smart, so I have to go back the way I came. Not bad. Getting down to the nitty-gritty now. We just have a wire, so you have to have your own what's the word? Paracord in order to do that one. Cool. I'm surprised there's not much here as far as a horse camp. Oh, it's a sign. Oh yeah. All right, well, at least I can sit on a stump and chill and have a little something to eat. Well, I could go out that way if I had my boots, but I don't. It's just like the cabins, right? There's kind of a little side loop that goes away from the trail, but then re-intercepts the trail. There is actually a little bit of cable here, just rolled up. Not sure why. Anyway, so I gotta head back, get my boots, and then continue along the trail, where I'll probably see another sign pointing in, you know, the second way into the river, into this horse camp. So the sign is just in there. I know there's not many that attack this pass from the Cadomin side, but hey, you're here, get across the river, you got like, you know, some little nook shooks and stuff. It's over there in those bush. That's where you're gonna find that trail. Okay, gotta get back rolling. Okay, so that's gonna go down to some crossing, and that'll bring you to the horse on this side. Well, sorry guys, I'm not gonna go down there and show it to you. Already done it once. I'm gonna keep right on rolling. Well, ever since a few 100 meters before I found that first horse camp exit, it's been nice along the river, flat, but it is getting grown in by willows. Just trying to battle my way to my third Fiddle River crossing. It's actually my fifth, but the third one officially that you have to do on this trail. I do have to hammer off some kilometers. You know, this is a 14-kilometer day and I started damn late. So, yeah. At some point the kilometers gotta come. Okay, I've arrived at the crossing. When I first got here, not real certain. I mean, there's no trail following here, so I figured it probably is it. You know, that kind of looks like the trail. But then I spotted over there, you can kind of see the trail kind of climbs up in there. And then the one that clinched it is, well, this guy, which I hadn't noticed yet. That is showing the other side. Here's the trail across here. So I know this is the crossing. And it looks fantastic. This is easier than the other two. It's easier than the one I did from to the horse. All right, got my Crocs on one more time. Let's do this. Well, it makes no sense. This is where I've got the most water to contend with. This is the farthest downstream, but it was the easiest crossing of my day. It's like barely even got past my ankle. I could have left these boots on. And you know, they're waterproof until you get over the lip. So I probably would have been fine. June 5th. Well, cool. And of course, I can't forget this, right? More super cool views. When you start finding a bunch of branches that have been cut off trees, you know you're close to a campground. And I know that Slide Creek campground is just up here somewhere. This all looks pretty recent even. And by the way, they're cutting off these branches for firewood. Guess a convention could throw that in there. Here we are. According to this, I've gone about halfway. I want to go to Utopia. It's quite rare that you find that a hiker campsite is nicer than a horse campsite. Slide Creek horse doesn't have anything except tree stumps. And usually those guys make pretty elaborate stuff. There's a bear hang over there. Time for a break. This is nice here. There's some nice little spots. They're just underneath this guy. You can't see it beautifully, but actually it won't be long before you can see better because these trees are dying of pine beetle. And then down there you can see a green throne. You're not too far from the water down there, but it's not so loud that it's keeping you up all night long, right? Because sometimes that's a thing. Sometimes it's not wonderful to be hearing this constant drone. This is a pretty cool water source, man. I think that's kind of neat about people cutting stuff off trees for firewood is like, look at this tree, right? Okay, a little bit high up. Look up there. Now that's 20 feet up. Those were cut off like 20, 30 years ago, right? Because these trees don't grow that fast up here. So that's kind of neat. That's almost a little history going on, right? Well, I got still another 7 kilometers to bang off, so, and I probably am going to go see a warden cabin that I have to cross Fiddle River 2 more times to do. But, you know, of course, I want to go see stuff. Well, yesterday I made so much effort to go see a dumbass warden cabin. Yeah. Paying the price today. I can feel it. Well. This is just below Slide Creek Campground. Now this is Slide Creek. Gotta cross this bad boy. So, I could rock hop. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Maybe up there. Or maybe here. I don't know, I might get there and find that that's farther across than I'd like. Alright? Alright, figure this out. Well, that was a bit tough. Rock hopping always looks easier than it is. You actually get over to a rock, then you have to make some big leap. You know, like right there to there, that doesn't look like much. But I'm leaping over top of this big torrent, and I've got 35 pounds on my back. And what if I slip and fall? And where am I going, right? Now I understand why, Jasper National Park has closed this down to equestrian this year. Closed it down to horses because of the rising water. And, well, now I get it. I mean, a horse could easily slip and be gone. All right, well, I never did put on my Crocs for that. Maybe I should have. That would have made it easier, maybe. Anyhow, because I didn't, that was probably my hardest crossing of the day. All right, moving on. Oh, I've been descending most of the day. All of a sudden now I'm climbing like crazy. And it's raining again. Oh well. It had gone about 5 hours without rain. And when I thought I was going to get hit with it, it never actually came. So be grateful for 5 hours. Well, the personality of this hike has changed. So I went up a lot That was steep. And then I came back down quite a bit, still going down. And now look at all this. I don't know where I'm crossing. Over there, I imagine. And look at this over here. What a funny looking bare patch of land. It looks like it's been logged, but in a national park. Maybe it was logged many, many years ago and it just never had the power to grow itself back. Huh, that's something I've seen before. All right, well, this day just, the tone of this just changed. Well, you got slide here, and you got slide here. When it said you'd be crossing a slide, I just assumed I'd be boulder hopping. And I've done that before at Geraldine Lakes. But look at this perfect little trail going right through, right in between the two massive piles of rocks. I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but yeah, this is nice, really nice. Well, this is supposed to be an easy side stream that I'm going to go down and cross. It's been tough hiking. Taking a nice little break. It's a great spot for one. Still raining. It's been on and off. Funny looking. I mean, I realize that that's way too steep to get logged, but I mean, what a funny looking line of trees on that thing. And you can see what I've been talking about with pine beetle, right? There's starting to be quite a bit. And you can see the sun is out over there too. Well, I haven't crossed this side creek yet. Just know coming from Miette Hot Springs side, there's two trails kind of going up this hill. I think this one was carved out for the horses. It's the one I came down, and it's fine. There's another one going up there. Just know they end up in the same place. All right, so it doesn't matter which one you take. It's the first time I've seen any snow since, probably a kilometer or two before Whitehorse Campground. You know, when I went up that cabin trail. All right, this doesn't look too bad. Hopefully it isn't too bad. All right, this feels like it could be kind of cool, so here we go. There's the other one I kicked loose. There she goes. You can almost see it melting. Even though this water is ice cold, you can pretty much see it melting. All right, with that gone, I can just hop across over there. Done. So you can see there, I kicked that snow loose so that I would have that rock. And I was able to just kind of come across. The snow's down there now, and it's already half the size. It doesn't take much. All right, well, that wasn't too bad. Moving on. Well, since I left the creek, this has just become a rooty forest trail, and that's a relief because 7 kilometers of that other stuff, that would have, oh man. Like, getting over that hill, getting down that creek was quite the thing. It's a pretty wicked shot back of, I guess that's called Slide Mountain, I'm not even sure. Up there you can see my favorite tree line. Moving on. Okay, finally made my way back down to the river. That's the main trail. This is the trail to the Warden Cabin. That's over there. You can see it way over there. I'm gonna go see what this is like. I mean, this is obviously much stronger than what I was facing earlier. Well, I don't understand that. So I went down, checked out the crossing. I started walking over here, I found another trail. And I came up it, and it's the main trail. So why make another trail down there? Makes no sense to me. I saw another marker over here, because I don't like that crossing. Another marker way down there. I'm gonna check out a little farther because water is fast and it's kind of deep. Can't really see the bottom in some places. It's not a good thing to be crossing, twice for that matter. So, some quick rules about crossings. Narrow is bad. It's the same amount of water, but now it's going to be deeper, right? So down there it spreads out a ways. So, see what it looks like down there. You want wider. Unless you can hop across a nice little narrow patch, great, but that's not going to happen here. Well, I think I want to try, mostly from my own experience. So I'm not going to push too hard. If it gets too deep too much, I just turn back. All right? I'm not even sure this thing's over here. I might be going over there to see a blank patch. But whatever. Curiosity, man. Well, son of a bitch, I made it. You'll see where it came up to. One thing I'm learning about crossings is the poles, when the water's moving that fast and it's up to there, they stop being useful because they start getting swept down also, right? All right, I'm gonna go see something, or at least see the blank space where it used to be, that very few people see, because nobody wants to cross a river, right? They sure as hell don't want to cross a river at this time. You know, not that river. Woo! Okay, I gotta go find the trail that walks into it. Found the trail. One downside of this is I had to bushwhack and I have bare legs, so got them a little scratched up. They're wet too, so that doesn't help. I also don't like leaving my pack like that. That's something they highly don't recommend. I could come back and find an animal ripping it apart, getting at the food. I also don't have my bear spray. But, well, I understand the risks and I'm taking them. Just know that it's not advisable, right? Hilarious. The trail took me right back to where I was. But somehow I walked right by. I guess some other people have been here. And what's this weird circle? Like, what in the name of God? It's like goggles. It's like safety goggles almost. Okay, still not sure there's a cabin over here. I'll keep following that trail. It's going down here. When you think you see the roof of a cabin, but it turns out to be a big white rock. There's also a little division over here, so this is even more water. Starting to think there is no cabin over here. We'll look around a bit more. Well, no such luck. This is a nice big open area. If there was a cabin, well, I know there was, but this is my guess as to where it would be, right? You're supposed to be able to see it from the trail. Well, I'm not on trail. I'm pretty much standing exactly where you can see from the trail, and I can't find it anywhere. So, boy, my search for cabins. I guess I found Harlequin over in Whitehorse, but my search for cabins out here has been pretty damn fruitless, gotta say. And there's not a trace. Like, I can't find a piece of steel, a piece of man-made wood. I can't find an old outhouse. I can't find anything. Like, I thought I would have found something. Well, I guess my curiosity is satisfied, and now you know. Don't waste your time coming over to this little atoll, island, whatever you want to call it, trying to find a cabin. Well, that crossing actually went better than the first one. You know, I know it seems stupid that I went over there, but I need to get practice at crossings like this if I'm gonna go do the big stuff, right? I mean, that didn't even get very high. It's, you know, it's fast, but yeah. If I'm gonna go do stuff like North Boundary Trail on that, I need to have some confidence with this. And hey, I crossed this twice. It's helps the old confidence. I think I've spent an hour today switching out shoes. For those keeping track, if anyone cares, I've done 7 crossings today of this thing. Those last 2 were definitely the most, yeah. And I've done 2 rock hops. Well, I've crossed 9 bodies of water. Well, at least the sun's out. That's pretty sweet. Oh my God, the sun, it feels amazing. All day there's been little bits of rain and stuff. Even when it wasn't raining, it was gray and crappy. And that, oh boy, when that sun whips out, that feels amazing. My God. All right, 2.6 kilometers to go to Utopia Campground. Hiking along nicely. And this very confusing sign is here. What the hell are you talking about? There's nothing over here. Like nothing. And the other side just has a yellow marker. I don't understand at all. This is the only trail I see around. Some pretty awesome views and postcard moments, you know. The sun's gone now, but before those 2 were just gleaming. You know, I totally forgot to look in behind what would have been that cabin site to check see if there's an old trail. Apparently there's an old trail to Mystery Lake from there. But I totally forgot. The trail, of course, I'm sure is completely and utterly unkempt at this point. I mean, it's dead and lost, and I mean, it was only ever done by wardens, as far as I know anyhow, to kind of shortcut over to their cabin from Mystery Lake. And yeah, I mean, there's enough amazing trails around. I don't have to go digging up old beat up ones that I probably would have to climb over 6,000 trees and maybe lose a bunch of times too. Sweet. This is surprising. I'm about 8 kilometers away from Miette Hot Springs, and there's actual infrastructure that's surviving. Clearly very old. I'm not sure what it's crossing either, but it's here. This is from an age when the national parks had the backcountry wardens and they had just more money to put back here. Yeah, kind of cool to see. Wow. Well, this one's actually over a genuine swamp. Come check this out now, because once this is gone, it is gone. Just a nice spot for a rest. Sulphur Skyline, which is a very popular hike, I believe is just on the other side of that. So if that wasn't in the way, I could probably see it. Might be able to see it from Utopia Campground. Yeah. Always great places to take a break on this trail. I'm only 0.7 away, according to my app. But I kind of wonder because there's a big fat Inukshuk down there, which might be going up this thing, trying to get up that or something. I don't know. Scramble. I don't know. I climbed up here and then had to come back down. That was enough to make me take another break. So Even if it's just down to the clearing, no regrets. Oh. So when you get to the bottom of that little slide, there is an arrow. And I mean, so you don't start going down here, right? And up there, there's a pile of rocks. And then there's that other Inuk Shuk pile of rocks. So this is just kind of, those rocks, turns out, are just kind of leading you through this thing. All right. Jeez. I know I take long videos, but how can you not take shots like this? It's awesome. Boy, am I glad to see you. Apparently it's 85 meters up here. We got bear hangs and more wonderful picnic tables. Oh my, I love picnic tables so much. Let's say FTC 95 on it again. No, it says 17. Really? This is only 2 years old? Those other ones all said 95. It's like, wow. It's very impressive. 24 years old. But, I don't know. I don't see anything on this one. 17. Yeah, cool. Great water source. There's been fantastic water sources this whole trail. That's Utopia Creek. I get to cross that tomorrow. Well, I guess both of these really. This is something different. The trail coming up here, right? With this big open area. And then the sign saying, you know, no fires. Kind of piss off out of this area. Oh, and the trail keeps going. I followed it for a bit, and yeah, I think you could have people coming back here that there's kind of a trail being blazed. I can't say I'm super interested right now. I am, yeah. Well, maybe later, but I kind of doubt it. But, you know, it's kind of a neat little back mystery trail out of Utopia Creek campsite. All right, so there's the eating area. And you have what looks to be a spot. But, you know, they covered it in spruce branches and there's moss. And I mean, someone put a lot of effort into this. So I guess they want to shut this down. Well, there's a spot right there. I have never seen this before. Another new one. So it's 8:15. I don't have any big panic to get things done today. I'm actually trusting that there won't be rain for a while. You know, things aren't moving that fast, so I'm gonna have homemade special. So this is ground beef that I dehydrated. I'm gonna boil that for a bit and get her back up to being normal, you know, essentially flavorless ground beef. This is gonna be for flavor, right? So I'm gonna do that, dump it in here, do that, just kind of heat it up and get it in there. It's pretty much, oh my, this is cooks in 9 minutes. I thought I just had instant stuff. Anyway, I'll get that or maybe one of the other ones I have done. Then I'll make the pasta, drain it out of this, and then dump everything else in. There you go, homemade pasta. I actually do have a toss and serve in here. I think I bought this by mistake. But, you know, I'm gonna try it out. Screw it, I don't have milk. I don't have anything, I just have some water here. Gonna toss it in, let it cook for a bit, and throw it into my meat and my sauce, and there you go, a lot of flavor. Let's make it work. There we go. I let it boil for 4 minutes. That's what it says on the back of there. I don't know where this 9-minute business came from. It really takes 9 minutes to get water up to a boil. All right.
Nothing short of delicious, man. Who cares how the flavor gets in your body or in your mouth? Just make it work. Done. I don't have any more 9-minute packs, right? Well, that spaghetti and meatball meat was, with that sauce, was absolutely amazing. One thing about that is that it does use a lot of fuel. I heated up water 3 times, right? So, I mean, you only heat up water once with one of those $14 deals. But now I got my hot chocolate, and you know, look at this. There we go. We got that on the right one. Cheers. Well, good night. It's 10 o'clock. Time to rest my back, rest my legs. I only have 6.3, something like that to get out tomorrow, but still a backpack, so see you tomorrow.